So Richard III is a man.
Yeah.
But a hunchback.
Yeah.
Man. You don't see many hunchbacks these days. I'm sure I saw a lot more when I was a kid. So the Globe Theatre, obviously being inclusive and diverse or whatever, has cast a woman as Richard III, which actually, and if, by the way, I was thinking about this, if you go back 20 or 30 years, we were doing that before all the DEI thing. Women were being cast in men's role in various plays around, and there was no issue with that at all. I don't think there was.
There was that was the beginnings. That was the beginnings of the wokery.
Yeah, I remember that, and I don't remember even thinking anything about it. But I may have been. Yeah. I may have been at that point captured fully, so I don't know. I'm definitely not now. But when it happened then, I didn't even think anything about it. But I was probably a liberal left winger at that point. So they've cast a woman as Richard III. Fine, you and I as liberal, maybe you're not fine, but I'm fine about that. But they've been pilloried because the woman they've cast is not disabled. Yeah. So she isn't a hunchback. So it's not that she's a woman being cast, it's the fact that she's not a disabled woman. Yeah. So they've been attacked by disabled actors around this, and they've had to defend themselves. And part of their defence is saying they are inclusive or whatever. But whatever. So this to me, is insanity, because it's not the fact she's a woman, it's the fact she's not a disabled woman.
You can't do enough.
Yeah.
You can't do enough. First thing, Richard III wasn't a hunchback in real life.
Right. Okay.
That was,
as we can tell from your impression.
Yes, that was propaganda at the time, and it was given credence by Shakespeare, who wrote the character as a hunchback, but in real life he wasn't a hunchback. Makes no difference. The Globe Theatre is a lovey-dovey, artsy, far left. All the arts.
It's incredibly woke.
The whole arts industry
woke.
is.
Yeah.
And they can't be enough woke.
Yeah.
For other people to appreciate them the way they want to be appreciated, because there's always more you can do.
Yes.
That woman, was it a white woman?
A white woman. Yeah.
There we go.
Yeah.
So the racist anyway.
Yes, the racist.
So employing a white woman. Yeah. They should have got a black lesbian in a wheelchair with blue hair and Maori face tattoos. That's what Richard III really
Although somebody would have complained because she wasn't a hunchback, just in a wheelchair, because you need the hunchback.
No, but she identified as one.
Oh, right, okay.
Yes,
fine. Yeah,
yes. Yeah. Her pronouns were hill and hump. So, yes. But you can't do enough. They're always looking for something to attack those organisations on, because they know they'll get away with it. They know the globe will panic. They know the globe will go, oh, but tell you what, we'll do more for disabled people. Would you like a grant? Do some of you want to get a job here? It's all power dynamics all the time.
Yeah.
And if you dance with the devil, you've got to pay the toll eventually. And these people have been dancing with the devil, and you can't do enough for them. And eventually that snake eats itself. Yeah. And hopefully they'll eat the globe.
Yeah. So this idea now in and acting is a big, films, theatre, acting is a massive part of our lives. But this idea of casting people who have the disabilities or whatever. So there's been various apologies. For example, Eddie Redmayne. I can't remember the name of the film.
Coward. He's a coward.
Yeah. So Eddie Redmayne made a film where he played a transvestite.
Tom Hanks in the AIDS film, he said he wouldn't play that now.
Yeah.
All these people are cowards.
But surely this, for me, this isn't right.
That's what acting is.
Yes.
Acting is to get someone.
Yeah.
And with their skill, they pretend, just like trans people, they pretend that they're someone else.
Yeah.
And that's called acting.
Yeah.
And I've come to the conclusion about the why actors fall for all this and are so woke is because basically they're empty vessels.
Yeah.
They haven't got a personality. They haven't got any of that. That's what makes them a good actor.
Correct. Yeah. The problem with acting, and it's the same with musicians as well, at the end of the day, actors, performers, they're performers. Yes. Singers are performers. But somehow the public seems to imbue them with intelligence or capability in political nous because they are successful in these particular things. But you're right, most actors speak other people's words.
Yes.
Most of them have got no idea. I mean,
they get told what to do, where to stand, when to speak, what to wear.
Yeah. Ricky Gervais made that point at the Globes, didn't he? He said most of you haven't even been to school, so let's not pretend that you know what you're talking about. But they get incredible power, incredible wealth, and then they just spout absolute nonsense. But I think the interesting thing about this is, you and I have talked about meritocracy before, and how positive discrimination actually can undermine the ability to get the best brains. We talked about Harvard last week or whatever, the fact that they're now using positive discrimination. So they're not getting the brightest students, they're getting the appropriate ratios of whoever those students might be. Does this mean, and I think it's already happening because there's very little I can watch on television now, does this mean we're going to end up with just absolutely crap television and films?
Well, we're there, aren't we?
Yeah.
We've been there for a long time.
Yeah.
The last thing I tried to watch, I think it was the BBC. It wasn't BBC, it was ITV. And it was a couple of years ago, and somebody was saying it was good. I thought, got nothing else to watch. I'll watch that. So I got iPlayer, and I looked at it and I found it. And I think I got 20 minutes into it. It was about the British submarines in the UK. And it was a spy drama or something. And the 4 heads of the submarine department in the Royal Navy, whatever it is, it was 2 women, a black man and a white man. And I'm like, I'll put money on there's no black men at the top of the submarine division. I'll tell you what, there's no women there either. And it's like, and that straight away spoilt it for me. It was like, this is pathetic. And then it's like, they're placements, they're just tokens.
Yes. Yeah.
And I see it all the time now, and it puts me off. I've just watched something with my wife, which I didn't really enjoy. But you start watching evening TV. She can't watch all the rubbish I watch. So we watched it together. Series called The Winter King.
Right.
It's a retelling of King Arthur.
Right.
Yeah, Merlin's black. His best friend is a black man with a Jamaican accent. He does a deal with this other tribe, and he's Asian with an Asian accent. And they're training these fighters because they're going to war. Half the fighters are women. And I'm like, I carried on watching it. I watched them all, but I played it on my phone throughout it. And it's like, you're ruining these stories. If you want a story where there's a black wizard and half the women are the warriors, well, write a story for that.
Yeah.
Stop taking our heritage, our myths and legends, like Snow White, what Hollywood are doing, and wasted $500 million. Stop taking.
They scrapped it, actually.
Stop taking our culture and ruining our culture. Create your own stories.
Yeah.
Like Star Wars created their own stories. Harry Potter created new stories. You don't have to keep ripping off our culture.
But I don't think it's black people or Asian people who are doing this.
No,
I think it's white people.
Yeah.
I think it's white
woke
people who are saying we must cast a black person.
Yes.
I mean, it's Doctor Who's a recent example, isn't it? So in Doctor Who now, and it is strange, very strange, they have a transvestite playing the Doctor's assistant, a man.
Yeah.
But it's not only, so it's a black man playing a woman, but worse than that, it's a black adult man playing a young woman, like a 15-year-old woman.
Oh, I didn't know
but he's about 23, this guy.
Well, this is all LGBTQ, isn't it?
So you've got a transvestite, a male transvestite, playing a 14-year-old doctor's assistant.
Yeah, it's not creepy at all, is it?
Well, yeah, no, it's I know your sarcasm, and you're right, it's very creepy.
Yeah.
I think that's incredibly creepy. But this is for children, this basically.
And you change a country and a culture by indoctrinating the children.
Yeah. But the person who wrote Doctor Who is a white, middle-aged man.
Yeah.
He's called Russell, is it Russell T Davies? It's Russell T Davies.
Yeah.
So you've got a white, middle-aged man, and then assuming a whole bunch of white producers and directors, casting a black... the fact the character's black is fine, it's not, but the fact it's a black transvestite man pretending to be a young black girl is really creepy. But promoted by white, middle-aged men.
We can all see it when it's done as a box-ticking exercise.
Yeah.
If that play at the Globe and Richard III, if they got what's he called? Denzel Washington to play that. I would not be thinking that was a box ticking exercise. Denzel Washington is one of my favourite actors. I don't think he's ever done a bad film. And some of my favourite films of all time are his films. He's just excellent, and I could see him playing Richard III.
Yeah,
I think he just played Hamlet or something on a
Yes, I think
film.
you're right. Yeah. No,
I've got an issue with that.
And actually,
it's when you know they've been shoehorned in because of that.
Yes, and there is actually a history in British theatre of great black actors playing white Shakespearean roles, and as you say, I've never raised an eyebrow. And so the actual concept of a female woman playing Richard III isn't an issue for you. Maybe more of an issue for you. It's not an issue for me.
It's only an issue because I know that's why they picked her.
It's the fact they have been attacked because she's not disabled.
Yeah.
And that there's...
They made a mistake. She should have been a black woman.
Yes, and then nobody would have said anything.
Because disabled people won't go up against a black
woman. And by the way, in defence of black actors, I think black actors must be rubbing their hands together at the moment because there must be so many roles now for black actors, people in commercials. There's so many, as you know, every 3 out of 4 commercials now just have black people. Yeah. If you came to this country from a spaceship and sat down and watched the TV and saw the adverts, you'd think you were in an African country basically. Because so many of the but good luck to them, because I bet the black actors agencies or whatever it is must be raking in the moment. And as a black actor, your chances of getting a job are probably really high. So I don't blame them for taking advantage, because you and I have discussed this before. People take advantage of their situation.
You only can play the system you're in.
Yeah.
And they've not created this system, they're in the system. It will be a backlash for them, so they need to be careful, because what we're doing now, and this conversation proves it, we're now saying black people only get roles because they're black.
Yes, yeah.
And some of those actors will be amazing actors.
Yeah.
And they're going to be tarred with the same brush.
Yeah.
And then people now have stopped watching these movies and some of these programs because you see it and you go, that's going to be rubbish.
Yeah, there's no doubt.
They're damaging the industry themselves.
I'm now turning off films if I see there's a black role or a whole bunch of black actors there that, if it's a historical drama or whatever, and I just go, well, but there weren't any black people around at that time, and the chance of the black person being in that position at that time would be... But this has been going on for a long time, because do you remember Starsky and Hutch in the 70s? The captain, the authority figures in a lot of those programs in the 70s were black, and I didn't even see it then, but they were doing it then, weren't they? They were putting black people in very senior positions on the television.
That depends on... We would have to look at the stats of those police departments to see...
Yeah, maybe there were black captains.
So there may have been.
Yeah.
Just not in this country at that time.
So just on that finishing on that article. So are you aware of the term blacking up? So when an actor blacks up to look like a black, but obviously it's not allowed anymore. It's just not. But apparently disabled have got a term for when a non-disabled person, and it's called crippling up. Yeah. Have you heard that one?
No. but I know they're not happy with it, but I just didn't know they come up with it.
So they call it crippling up when an able-bodied actor pretends to play somebody disabled.
If you like that video, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell and comment. And if you like what I'm saying about running for Mayor of Greater Manchester, then stick around. Tell your family, tell your friends. The only way I'm going to have a chance of winning is a grassroots movement. So be part of that movement and hit that bell. Thanks.